Hello everyone, it's Kari from sunshineinmypocket.com, and today I have 7 cards to share with you showcasing the brand new Altenew dies. This is their standalone die release for this month, and this first one is called Twig-tastic Die. I'm going to be showing you how I used most of these dies, and I have 7 cards to share. So this video is a little bit longer than usual, but stay tuned because I am going to show you I made all these cards and also how to win a prize later on. So stay tuned. So I'm just showing you here that I used these inks here from Concord and Ninth to stamp out. This is my favorite winter Cardinal stamp set from Altenew. I've had this stamp set for a really long time and it is still one of my favorites. So here I'm showing you how I did the lighter one and then how I did the darker one. And the darker one I think is my favorite, so that's the one I'm going to be using today. So I went ahead and die cut that Twig-tastic die out of a brown paper. And now I have, this is Neenah Desert Storm 80-pound paper, and I'm just going to ink on some oxide inks. This one is the lightest blue, and you can see that's going to go in the middle. That is going to be kind of our highlight. And then I'm going to go around the edges with a darker blue and also with some black soot. And so you can see that I've already stamped the You Make Me Happy from this set here. This is called the Simple Flower set, and I love the sentiments in this set. So I wanted to use that one today for this bird because cardinals really do make me happy, especially when I see them. I haven't seen one in a really long time here in Arizona, but every once in a while you can see them here. So now I'm going around the edges with the darker blue here. I believe this is Chipped Sapphire, and then I'm going to take the darkest black soot and go around the edge there so that I kind of create this highlight in the center and some darkness around the edges. And then you can see this is how I'm going to position the bird and the Twig-tastic die. I really love this. The first thing I thought of when I saw this die was a bird's nest. So I was really excited to be able to use this stamp set again. I love it. Now before I attach everything to this card, I'm going to take some white paint and just water it down, and then I'm going to splash it on here just by knocking that paintbrush against my finger. It will make some beautiful snowy like snowflakes on the background. I'm just cleaning a little bit up that got a little too much on the sentiment. Just taking a clean paintbrush to clean that up. And then once that's dry, I'm going to attach the Twig-tastic die with some liquid glue, just using some tiny, tiny dots to attach that right there in the middle. And then to add that cardinal to the top, I'm going to use some 3M foam tape, but this time I'm going to use 2 layers of foam tape. This will really make it pop from the back of the card, and I think that it makes this really sing. I love the look of Distress Oxides inked onto some Neenah Desert Storm paper. I really think it looks kind of magical. It glows. Look at that. So there is our first card using the Twig-tastic die. That's the first die set. And now I am going to show you the second die set, which is one of my favorites of all time from this release. It's called the Layered Wood Flower Die Set, and it comes with all of these that you see here. I went ahead and put them on this magnet sheet here, which is one of my favorite things to do to get them organized so that I can make sure that I have all of the ones that go together put together. It makes it super easy to cut out and to assemble these. So here is a few that I've already cut out of the flowers, and these are some different shades of yellow. I wanted to show you how easy it is to attach these together. Look at that. So there's the 2 layers for the flower itself, and then there's 2 layers for the center of the flower, and they go together so easily, and yet they make such an impact and a statement. I made so many colors of these flowers, and you'll see I'm going to turn them, most of them, into cards in this video. But look at that. This one, the red one, has some silver foil paper in the center, and that last yellow one has some glitter paper. This is the card I'm going to make today with this first set of yellow flowers. I didn't make the flowers exactly the same. You can see they're a little bit different in shades and tones. But now here is the third die that I wanted to show you. It's the Swirl Motif Die Set, and there's 2 layers for this particular one. It is so beautiful. I die cut the bottom layer out of this white paper, and then the top I die cut with the black, and it gives such an elegant look, and it's so dramatic. So I'm just going to glue this onto our front card panel here, just adding some liquid glue all around, and then look at that. Look how beautiful that is. This is going to look so pretty with those yellow flowers. And you can see that I've already die cut that thanks sentiment. That is from an older sentiment die set called Signature Words. And I'll have everything linked below if you're interested so that you can take a look at all of this. But look at that. So I'm going to attach these with foam tape, and also that one with a little bit of liquid adhesive so that it is adhered right down to that bottom layer of the flower. And then this thanks is so thin that I usually tap off the excess glue onto my craft mat there before I adhere it so I don't get too much squirting out the edges. To finish off this card, I'm going to add some gold gemstones to the center of the flowers and a little bit scattered across the front of the card also. And I think this makes a really beautiful thank you card. It's so elegant. Imagine this in all different colors of flowers as well. You can do that swirl motif in so many different colors also. So this is really fun to play with. So there's our card. You can see those gems sparkling in the light, and I just love it. So pretty. All right, for our next card, I'm going to use those red flowers that we made using that same layered wood flower die set. And I'm going to be using this Altenew embossing paste here. And to color it, I'm going to use some of this Altenew spray in the Mountain Mist. This is kind of a light green. I'm just going to squirt it on there. And then before I get too much green on my spatula, I'm going to just take a little more of that embossing paste, mix it all together until I get kind of the light green that I'm going for, kind of a minty green. You can add a little more spray if you want to. This did have a little bit of a smell to me, so be sure you're working in a well-ventilated area. I had my fan turned on in my craft studio here, so that when I added this, I just went ahead and used the spatula, and then I have my scraper here to scrape that down the front and get a nice smooth transition. This is the bubble wrap stencil, I believe. And there you go, just smoothing that out. Now I had enough of this embossing paste already colored to make another background as well. So I went ahead and made two while I had that out and ready to go, because otherwise I was just going to throw that away. So might as well make an extra one, right? So while that's drying, I'm moving on to my third card here. Is this my third or my fourth? Can't keep track, but I've got, this is the next die. See these leaves? It's from the set called Just Leaves Die Set, and there are just so many sizes and shapes of leaves. I just colored them up with some Copic markers. I die cut them with a really thick cream colored paper and then colored them real quick with my Copic markers. This was fast and easy to do, and to make that bright yellow flower just pop from the background, I'm going to add a little bit of Wild Honey Distress ink all around the edges and a little bit in the center, just using a finger dauber. That will really make it stand out. The Wishes is from a previous die set also. It's called Holiday Script Words Die, and I just die cut that out, and then I gold heat embossed this sentiment that says sending warm. So the complete sentiment is sending warm wishes, and that sending warm is from the Hello and Hugs stamp set, which is a stamp set I turn to again and again. I'm going to show you that on the last card that we're making today as well, because I used the large hugs for my last card. So there we go. We're just finishing this up by cutting off the excess leaves and the excess sentiment there. I'll make everything line up. And the beautiful thing about this is I had a lot of leaves hanging over the edge, so I could use some of those for down here in this blank spot on the card. And so I went ahead and took some of those leaves and just attached them down at the bottom here where it really needed some leaves. So that worked out really perfect. I'll just glue those on with liquid adhesive, and then this card is just about finished as well. So I hope you're enjoying this die set, the die release, because it is a beautiful release. Don't forget to head on over to my blog after you watch this, because it is a part of a blog hop. When you leave comments, you are entered to win an Altenew gift card. And also follow the hop, because the more comments you make, the better your chances are to win. So head on over and do that after this. But let me show you the rest of the cards here. For this one, I did the same technique using that Just Leaves die set, colored them up with a couple colors of Copic markers, and then added some red Altenew enamel dots. That Mary in the center was foiled with some green foil, and it makes a beautiful Merry Christmas card. Now that our background is dry, it's time to put this card together. I'm going to be using the red flowers that we made, and I'm going to attach the two of those together before I attach them to the card. And then these leaves are die cut with some dark green and some light green paper. It kind of looks white here. It's a really light green. So I'll attach those down, and then the sentiment from the center is from Best Sentiments, and it says, "You are the best." That is just an easy, simple card here to put together. Once we did that background and allowed it to dry, this came together very, very quick. Look at that, beautiful. So I'm going to attach the "You are the best" sentiment with a little bit of foam tape. So we get a lot of good dimension on this card. So much interest with the embossing paste and those layered die cut flowers from my favorite flower die. And here we go. We'll just add that to a top folding card, and that's going to finish off this card. This next die is called the Linear Crossroads Die. It's so beautiful, just die cut in white to add some extra texture to a simple card like this. This Follow Your Dreams is from the Paint a Flower Iris stamp set, and I just love the font on this one. I'm going to attach the Linear Crossroads die just with some liquid adhesive. If I would have thought about it, I might have die cut that with some stick-it paper on the back so I could just peel that off like a sticker, but I didn't think of it at the time. And then I'm going to add one of the pink flowers right to the top of this, so that gives it even more dimension. I'm using a lot of foam tape on this card as well for that flower. And then I'll just finish it off adding some bubble drops here in a variety of spots. That gives it some more interest. I love these. So this is a very simple card, white on white with a pop of pink and yellow. And then I'm going to pop it up with some fun foam on the back. I did cut this down to be a smaller panel than our card base, so that we've got kind of a frame, a white frame around this white panel. And then you can see I've been working on some Christmas cards there. Die cutting out some Christmas sentiments with that fun foam. But I'm going to use just the remaining piece here to pop this up onto my card. And there we go. That's all there is to it. I will use some acrylic blocks to kind of hold that down so that it can dry and dry perfectly. Now here we are to our last card, and this is a beautiful die set. It is called Floral Doodles Die Set. It's a multi-layered die set. So you get the background and then the outline of each of these flowers, and it's so beautiful. So what I did was I used all these Distress Oxide colors in purples and grays on some Neenah Desert Storm paper. And I just ink blended those out, and then I die cut the background die from this stamp set. And then I used the outlines, I die cut those in black, and I layered those on top of those backgrounds that I inked up. I think there's so much interest, and those flowers are just so pretty. Here's the Hello and Hugs set. I am deciding if I should use Hello or Hugs. I ended up using Hugs, and I just stamped that out and then cut around it to use as the sentiment on this card. But first I'm going to ink up this stencil with the same Distress Oxide colors, just using a little on the background here. I'm not being very careful at all, just kind of throwing it on. You can see that. It was a very quick, simple thing to do, but I thought the background just needed something. And this fit the bill. So now I'm going to arrange these flowers from this die set, the Floral Doodles Die Set. And you get all of these flowers. There's 3 different kinds of flowers, 2 different leaves, and there's also a stem, which I didn't use on this card, but it is beautiful. So many ways you can use this. So there it is, our last card for the day, showcasing the new Altenew standalone dies. I think I might be missing one or maybe a few dies from this stamp release or the die release. So be sure to head on over to my blog and head on over to the Altenew blog to see the entire release. Here's a look at all the cards we made together today. The hugs with the purple flowers from the Floral Doodles die set. There's the linear Crossroads die. This one is that beautiful Swirl Motif die set. And that's where I started using the layered wood flower die set also. You can see I used that flower die in a lot of my cards today because I love it. And it works so well with a lot of different dies and stamps. There's the Twig-tastic die with the winter Cardinal. Beautiful, beautiful set. And then here is that flower also with a embossed background using their embossing paste that we colored up. That's more of kind of a holiday card. I had holiday obviously on my mind with that one. Here's the Just Leaves die set. Using another one of those flowers and a large witch's sentiment. And then this one is the Merry foiled sentiment with those leaves. Just colored those up with Copic markers and makes for such a beautiful card. But that's all 7 of the cards we made today. I know I went through this rather quickly, so if you have any more questions, head on over to my blog. I will link all the supplies that I can below for you if you are interested. And you can go ahead and head there to leave a comment as well and continue on the blog hop while you're there. Thank you so much for stopping by today. I had a really great time making all these cards with you. I love this new die set. If you can't tell, I really, really do. And so thank you so much for stopping by. If you enjoyed this look at the new Altenew die release, then give me a thumbs up. And if you enjoyed my video, give me a thumbs up too. And leave me a comment and let me know which one is your favorite. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much again. I'll be back real soon with some more inspiration. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.